Alright, so I'm here just starting up a new vanilla, well, transport fever. So, I'll run through all the little bits and pieces at the beginning. I'll tell you how to spin buildings around, because I know people have a bit of problem with that. And I'll explain how to create a line that continuously works, and so I'll also run through train signals, all that type of stuff, so you don't have trains just stuck in the middle of nowhere and can't figure out why they won't work. But yeah. So the first thing I do normally, a lot of people don't, but I do it, is I go and I borrow as much money as I possibly can. Just to make sure I got money so I can do what I want to do, all that type of stuff. But normally with the other ones, when I play this, I normally play on custom server where I take away the on the custom game where I take away the cost of everything with a mod. But I thought people are having trouble. I've heard from a couple of people that they're having trouble with starting off a new Transport Fever thing. So I thought I might see if I can shine a little light on it and help them out a bit. So I've already seen a line that I'd like to create. So that is between this ranch here, this ranch, and this food processing plant. So I've had a look. I've got two of these ranches, and only one of the food processing plant. How many towns do I have around? I've got a couple of towns close around as well. So first things first, I'm going to create the two stations. So first station, click down here on the train marker. I normally pick the dead end station when I'm starting somewhere. And I'll normally push it up to 320 meters from the start with the high speed track type. And over here you can see a little person carrying a bag and a little, what looks like, well, if you hold the mouse over it long enough it'll say cargo, but looks like a little warehouse. You click on that for sure. You don't want to get stuck with the wrong type of station. So I normally hit the dead end. Now, the way to rotate a station, or the way to get the station and stuff like that facing the right way, you hold N and M, and it'll just spin it around to where you want it. And I normally try to get it in between stuff so I don't lose any of the value, especially when it costs an arm and a leg to do it. Now, when you're placing a track, it will show up. See how the ranch lighted up in white? If the track doesn't touch, it won't light up. If you go too far away, again, it won't light up, which means that the ranch is not talking to the train station station's not talking to the ranch, so you will not have food and stuff like that leaving the ranch to your train station. So you'll have a train station out in the middle of nowhere and a ranch that can't get any of the food to it. So, you go, you place it down. And because I've got another one that I want to work on, I'll go see what I can do over this end with it. Yep. Cargo, dead end track, spin it around as close as I can, right there. Now, you find the food processing plant, which I already have. It normally has the view of a piece of grain and a cattle with a bread after it. So that's the food. That's where the food goes. So now I'll just check around, see if there's any more of the farms, ranches, whatever you want to call it, around. There's one over there, so we won't be using that. So I can soundly place another dead end station here. We've got we'll say 3 towns we want to go to. From the incoming, I can take that down to 1 track, so that'll be alright. So, down here, the number of tracks that I will get with this station, I shall put it to, because 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, I'll put it to 3 stations altogether, still at the decent range. And also watch your money closely, because you don't want your money to disappear while you're trying to create stations and tracks and just be sitting there going, oh no, no money and no income. So, place a track there. Now, over here, we have a town. So, now I've got to figure out exactly where all their industry and, most of all, look where their food industry is. Try and find out where that is. There we go. So it starts here. So the food industry looks like it's in this middle section here. So that's going to be slightly tricky. How far? Alright, that's going to be slightly difficult, but we can deal with that. Now, I will figure this out a little later, because we might have more stuff running to this train station. But I'll place it a little bit away from the town, so it doesn't interfere with the town at all. But also with that, I'll go ahead and place a large-sized cargo station, truck for vehicles and stuff. Then I will see how close I can get it. That'll work there. Then I shall try and get it as close as I can. There, so I've collected all here with the food outlets, and all through here with the food outlets. You've got a couple on the north side that won't get any, but I'll fix that now. And if you can get away without having to do this, it's preferable, because you don't want to have to take people's houses away from them, and you don't want a big mess like that. So actually, yeah, we can leave them all there. Couple too many, but meh, it works. Alright, so now, when you go to place tracks, you got your standard tracks, or your high-speed tracks. I always use the high-speed. Why? Because when your vehicles and trains and stuff get to the newer age, they become faster, and you don't want to have to go back, start tearing up tracks, might miss something later on, and do all that type of stuff. Yeah, alright, cool. So there's my first line, from there to there. As you can see, I have also paused the game as well. I should have mentioned this a little earlier, but my bad. So you've got pause, normal speed, double speed, and then quadruple speed. Normally, when you start off, I normally do everything at pause, so I can plan out my area before everything goes through, before I have to try and figure out stuff and all that type of stuff without playing it, so I don't, if I stuff up, I can look at it and go, where did I stuff up when I hit play? If it says I stuff up, hit pause, go through, recheck everything. It's an easy, surefire way of just going, well, have I got it good, or have I stuffed up, or is it working fine, or all that type of stuff, so it helps. Really does. So, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do. So we'll see where we've gotten to, all right? So 1, 2, 3 cities I will take this to. So one there, one there, one there. So I'm leaving that center track for these two lines to come in and join into one, where I will show you the very first of the signals and stuff, so we can all get that out of the way early enough so we can make sure we have it running right before we get too far into it. If I do this well enough and I think it's okay, I might make more videos afterwards. Alrighty. I'll swing this up over this this industry right here. Okay, cool. Come into the station. There. Now this one. Oh. Yikes, it's a little expensive. I'll see if I can go around. Actually, it's going to cost me more money. Whoops. Oh well, that's me being an idiot for you. I'm trying to do it cheaply. This is really expensive. Alright. As it comes in, I shall merge the two tracks. There and there. So they'll be coming in from that northern way, straight to here. So now, the way you build your signals is, when you're in your track selection, down the bottom here you will have the track symbol, signal symbol, and track modification symbol. We won't have to worry about the track modification or all that at all, because in the 1950s, they mostly come with electrification on it, so don't have to worry about it. Alright, so symbols. I normally use the stoplights and stuff like that, or traffic lights, whatever you want to call them. So now, you go to the track. Do not place your signals like this, facing where they're coming from. Like, see how these two are coming from the 2 into the 1? Do not place your signals facing where the 1 track divides into the 2. The way it needs to go is over the other side, so the light is not facing the single track. Has to always be facing the double track. Same for the other side. There. So now, when your trains are coming in from these 2 tracks, they'll come to these signals. If one's already in there, it'll stop the other one. If the other one's in there, it'll stop the first one. So, when one comes in, it'll drop off all of its stuff, then it'll disappear back out onto its track. Then it will allow the other one to come in. So, always remember, from where 2 tracks are coming into 1, you want the stoplights facing the 2 separate tracks, not the 1 track they turn into. So, now I will put the stations for these 2 towns. Whoops. Alrighty, so most of it's in the center and down this way. Oh god, they're everywhere. It's a cluster, this one. Alright. So, this time we'll actually stop with the train right there. Cool. And then this one, we've got to find out everything is. That's all everywhere as well. But this one's, again, slightly easy. Put right there. And once again, connect the dots. Okay, so I know it looks messy, the way that I've done it. You can get it neater by grabbing the tracks, bringing them in so they're side by side, not crossing over, not touching, well, side by side touching, but not crossing into one. Just line it all the way up to where you want it, then merge them into the one. Looks a lot neater. But me, I like to have them spread out so I can easily go, that goes there, that one goes to that location. It's easier for me. Once again, we need to do the lights. Okay, so not that way, remember, guys? Facing away from where they join into one track. Facing away. Brilliant. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 cities, all with the stations on it. I've got the 2 ranches, where it's all coming out of. And the 1 station where it needs to go to turn it into food. You definitely need this one, or else you won't have any food. Simple. Okay, now, we need to put down places for the trains to start from. So, again, go into where the train tracks are. Go to this little symbol here, which is a depot, or depot, whatever you want to call it. And now, go to whereabouts you'd like to have the depot. I like mine close to where it's supposed to be coming from. Now, where the depots join, you don't have to worry about it, because trains aren't going to continuously go in and out of the depot to the train station and around the lines. It'll just go on the lines, that's it. So don't worry too much about the depot being there. Again, where you want it. There. Cool. And from one depot, you can have as many trains as you want. So don't worry about it. If you've got all these lines going into one area, you can put the depot on the single track and then pump out as many trains as you need from that one depot. So don't worry about it. Don't cry about it too much. If you got one depot and 50 lines, you can have 50 trains coming out of one depot, so don't worry too much about it. It's easy to do. So now, back to the towns. I need to fill in where these have to be. So, unfortunately, it's going to be... I'm going to have to get rid of another business. I really didn't want to, but... Whoops. Harley not really thinking too far ahead, unfortunately. But, oh well. One depot there. One depot there. How many does that cover? All that. Do we have... Okay, so it starts there. How far does this reach? Oh no, just short. Oh, and the biggest moneymaker in this game would have to be oil and fuel. Biggest money earner, easy. So you can do pretty much the same type of thing as well with fuel as I'm doing with this food processing error and stuff like that. So you can do all that too. Once again, Need to put more depots in because I can't get to every food shop and all that. Oh no. Hell, one house doesn't matter, does it? Straight down to the center. Okay, cool. So that's covered there, that's covered there. Easier way of doing it rather than having to click on every other building. Look for these little tables and chairs and, well, look for the fruit stalls and stuff like that. Okay, cool. That's covered by them. They're all other office, not office buildings, but work buildings. They're all covered by that. Alright, cool. So now, to have trucks and stuff ready and waiting to push all the cargo around where you need it, throw in a depot. And unfortunately, if you've got a town and stuff like that, you will need a depot close to the train station for where you pick up all your cargo and stuff from the train. So always remember to put one of them in. I don't, put one there. That one has it, and that one has it opposite. Cool. Now, remember your depot trucks. Well, depots. And again, to rotate buildings, you press the M and N buttons. And to delete buildings, you press B. So, but that'll also unselect everything that you got selected and all that type of stuff as well. So, and be careful. If you hit B and do click on something, you can pretty much ruin what you were working on. So be careful. Alrighty, so I forgot to put in train depots. Whoops, my bad. One there. One there. And just push the train track straight into there, like so. Like that. Now that is a closed circuit from the food production to food processing, then to one of the 3 towns or villages, whatever you want to call it. So now I have to bring trucks ready to transport the food and all that. So you click on your depot for where you have your trucks and everything. You hit road vehicles. Then here you've got 3 separate tabs. I normally click freight. So then you can go through, check, always watch your build date because it is also kind of like lifespan. You can see when they started building it, so 1916 to 1965. Now think, the older they get, the higher the running and repair costs are going to be. So, you want one of the earliest made vehicles, so it won't cost that much money to continue it and to keep the vehicle up and running. Also, trucks have their own special, what they do, how they transport it, what they transport. So if you have a look here, this truck here for $157,000, a little expensive, but yeah, it is a 5-ton truck. It goes 60 k's an hour. That's also another thing that you've got to watch. Just see how fast they go. So here you got cargo types: logs, livestock, steel, planks, plastic, construction materials, machines, tools, food, and goods. We want to look for something that has foods. It is built before this vehicle. It can also carry more. So see here, it carries 13 ton. It carries 13 units, which is more than the 8 units that this one could. So always watch for that. So now we've got 1, 2, 3. So I'll buy 2 vehicles. Now to set a line, you go set a line. Click on new line. Now you have to start from a starting point, obviously. So that is this depot for when the trains bring it in and to move it. So from this depot, I go to this one. So that's my first line. Now when I uninstall, or when I unpause, it'll go from this truck stop to the depot, then to that depot. That's its route. It'll keep going between those 2 points. Now, because I have more than just those 2 depots, I've got 3, so I've got to do it again. So buy 2 road vehicles. You can buy as many as you want, all that type of stuff, but be careful. It does cost money, and if they don't make a profit, it will cost you a lot of money to keep these vehicles running. There you go. So that's one town set. So I'll do it 2 more times. Freight 1, 2. This one actually has a couple extra stops, so I'm going to have to do a couple extra. So, one depot to the next. Whoops. So went to that one, so I'll go to that one. So that's that line done for them. Then I'll come up to here, and this one is a little simpler, because all the food products and stuff are consumed around the center of the town here. So right here, that's where all the food and stuff is, so that's easy for me to do. So all I'll need is 1, 2, I'll actually do 3 this time, just to make sure I've got enough coverage between the trucks and the depot. To there. Okay, cool. So that's all that done. Now I will make the trains. So I'll come over here. Pretty much same type of deal. So you got locomotives. This little 3 or 4 dotted tab at the back will give you more options. So right here we've got locomotives. Because I hit that tab, we've got steam, electric, or diesel. We have our first diesel vehicle. To be honest, I like the diesel vehicle. It goes quite fast. It has more power to the track effort. So, well, we'll see the steam. It's got, 600. That might be a decent one, but it's $11 million. So this one's only 4. This one also lasts longer than... Actually, no, they'll last around about the same. This one's cheaper. It's... might be lighter. Yes, it's a hell of a lot lighter. What's its top speed? 188. Top speed 130. So I'll take the diesel. Easy choice for me. Then you go to wagons. Then you'll click freight. From here, you want to look at livestock, plastic, machine, tools, and food. It doesn't have a grain option for that one, but there is also a gondola, which is for grain. So now you want to roughly even it out, maybe 1 or 2 extra grain carts to to livestock carts. Other than that, should be okay. So here, I'll go 2, 3, 4 grain carts. How much do they have each? So 12, I'm looking at a capacity of 48. Then I'll do 1, 2, 3 of these other carts. Make it 5 of the first carts, of the gondola carts. Now, I have to set a line. Once again, just like the trucks. So you click set a line, new line. Because we're going from this ranch, I'll click this station. Then we have to click to the second station where it drops it off. Easy, that's simple, quick, all good. So now we go do the same thing up at the top end. Buy a train. I settled on diesel, so I'll buy diesel again. You may not like diesel, I love them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carts. 1, 2, 3 carts for this. Should give us probably the same. I can't quite remember what I did for the other one. So set a line, once again click, and click. There you go. There's my second line. Then now we got to go from the station to the towns. So here, buy train. Once again, I'm doing diesel. Freight this time because everything's coming out as just normal food. See? Once you click on it, food, you can go buy trains, freight, and just buy the gondola car, the box cars. So you've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4. I'll put, whoopsie. Okay, if you put too many carts in and you want to try and get some money back for them, you hit this little cross. It will sell that vehicle. So I'm only selling 1, so yeah, it should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go. I got 5 carts in this. So set a line, new line, from there to there. It'll work. Now here, buy trains. But because there's 2, 1, 2. Now, freight carts, go to box carts again. I'll buy 10 box carts. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, you can transfer them. See these arrows up and down? You can transfer them to the vehicle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you go set line, new line from there. We'll make this one go to this town. So that train will go to that town. Now, you can make everything go to one town by set line all. So that's for everything in there. But if I have 2 or 3 vehicles going to separate places, I'll just go set line, new line, and go there to the location I'm looking for. Now, I'll hit quadruple speed or trip speed or whatever you want to call it, fastest you can go. I'll hit it, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. So here, we've got our diesel train with its box cars and its gondolas going. We have the trucks moving. There's nothing for them to transport yet, which is normal. Now, the ranchers will not pick up that they've got something to them for the first trip. It'll be the first trip and a half for the ranchers and the food processing plant to figure out, see, look, there, the train's already gone. So, there you go. See, it'll take half a trip or a trip for it to realize, oh, we've actually got something on the end. Then it'll start producing food, grain, oil, bricks, anything you want. It'll start creating it. So don't worry too much if you go, oh, I've created this line, I created it, and as soon as the train gets there, it's not saying it's got anything. So just wait, see if it'll pick it up shortly after, all that type of stuff. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it too much. And yeah, so it'll take the stuff from the ranch to the food processing plant, then from the food processing plant to the train stations where it needs to go, then from those train stations to truck depots, then from the truck depots by truck to other truck depots. And in essence, that's what you have. And all those red negatives you see, It's how much it's costing to keep this running. So, it costs a lot to start up, but if you can get it done right, because I started in the 1950s where everything costs a bit more, it's understandable for me. I'm okay with it. So, yeah. So, I hope that's helpful for everyone. I hope you all get good knowledge from it. Well, that's me. I'm going to keep playing this. I might do another video on it later on down the track, but that's me for now. So, thank you, and I'll catch you later.